Hi, my name is Dorcas Adewunmi, and on this episode, I have with me Mrs. Omobolanle Adewunmi, which is my mom. And we're here to answer some questions that I have, as well as other people have about the White Garment Church. And she has been a member of the White Garment Church collectively for about 40 years now. She married into the Cherubim and Seraphim Church, and she was previously a member of the Celestial Church of Christ. Can you tell us how you became a member of the Celestial Church of Christ?
I can't say this is how we came. We just grew up to knew that we stopped going to the mosque and we had to start going to church. Because our parents, sometimes 1977, while I was about 7 years old, we stopped going to the mosque. We stopped getting involved in the Islamic activity, and we had to start going to one celestial church then, a celestial church in Ikeja, presently Ikeja One Cathedral on Unity Road, Ikeja.
Okay, you mentioned your parents. Can you tell us who your parents are?
My parents, of blessed memory, both of them, evangelists Dr. Michael Oluwanishola Kadri, and my mom, prophetess, Mother Celestial Prophetess Iyabode Elizabeth Kadri. They, uh, they are the one that first joined Christianity in the family, like we used to know. He was from a very strong Muslim background, and he was really doing well as an Islamic person. But I think the tides changed, and he had to start going to church, and we found ourselves going with him.
Okay. Do you have any memory of, the moment when he's converted from Islam to being a Christian? Any particular events surrounding that?
From what he told us, he was faced with so many challenges of life, and while seeking help, of course, he was going from one alpha probably to spiritualists, various one. I think that part is in his book, the Man with the Hidden Treasure. He said he went to one man, a spiritualist. I guess he was a Muslim, and that man, a spiritualist, the man now told him that he should go to a church where they wear white garments. And he was like, I was a Muslim, but fortunately, he found help from one of his friends who introduced him to Celestial Church of Christ.
Okay.
And since then, he's been, though it was not really acceptable to the family because he was a staunch Muslim and he didn't like Christianity. Then I know he didn't like Christianity then, because I could remember one of my very far uncle that joined Christian, that converted to Christian. My father was very much against him. He almost hated him. But now that he found himself, and probably immediately he joined, he find solution to that particular challenge. Of course, he continued to practice, and that was why we are there till date.
Okay. I know that at some point you have mentioned that he remained a celestial because of you. He asked you and you said that he could remain. What was that like? How did you ask you the question? Why did you tell him to remain in Celestial Church?
Okay, yeah, fine. I remember that time around, yes, we were all in Celestia, but because we were still very young, we are not opportune to go out. We did not see and have experience of the outside world. So when 1988, then we have started the church here. The church here started 1985. 1988, I went to retake in Sonny Luba, and there I had another encounter with Christ. I became born again, and to me, all they were doing in white garment churches was to me was unchristian like. The thing, non-believing in the world, and a lot of other practices. And I was not liking it then. I was looking for a way. But because we are so knitted and our Father has a place in our life, he quickly knew that I was doing something and he was intervening. At that point, he also had another encounter with God that made him to, God told him that he should change, he should start doing evangelism and preaching that the only way as a Christian is Christ. So going to the stream, doing all this fetish thing, going to the forest to pray, using egg and all sort of so-called eto has to be abolished. And since God told him to do that, he was preaching it, was on the radio, he went about doing revival, telling people that the only way out is Jesus Christ. But in that process, he also faced antagonism, criticism. They were like he was trying to change the church doctrine. He wants to become the head of the church. There was so much attack. There was so much fight. A lot of people disliked him. There was even threat to his life. And it was like, if I had to continue, I think in this Christianity, maybe I should leave this celestial fold and go and start on my own. And then he was talking to God and he prayed to God and God told him to stay. But like Gideon, when God told Gideon to go to the battlefront, Gideon still came back to God to ask for sign. And he said, he told God that he was going to ask 3 people. Whatever the outcome will determine whether I was going to move or not. So you had already asked 2 people, and one said he should go, one said he should leave. You know, that kind of a thing. So the third person was to determine his faith. And because of the relationship we had, we were very close. We share our mind, we will talk about everything. And he now came to me, and being the kind of person he is, anything my father was doing, he carries his children along, and he was always carrying us. We are always going out to minister with him, so we know what he was going through. But I don't know where the response came from. He asked me that, do we leave Celestia and stand on our own? And I don't know where the answer came. I just asked him, I gave him a scenario then. I said, you should look at a dung hill and somebody has a plan to build a duplex, a very fine building on a dung hill, that you can't just start building straight. You have to clear the dirt. You have to clear the rubbish, the debris, before you start building. And you know that when you finish building that place, people will not remember that there was a dung hill there. It's the beauty of the house that they will see. That he is going to be like that man that we clear the dung hill. And he said, really? So I said, you should go ahead to clear the dung hill. And the other one was like, you said God told you that you will clean Celestia, that Celestia has to be clean. You cannot clean a house from outside. If you want to make a house to look beautiful, you work on it from the inside. So you have to be inside. So you should be inside Celestia, clean it. And since then, we've been working together, we were praying together. And today, I can tell you that if there is any transformation in Celestia, my dad, Michael Olaolukadri, is the bedrock, because he worked, he started evangelism, radio evangelism, village evangelism, all sort of form of evangelism. He started it. He even went to the leadership of the church to tell them that, look, all that we need to make this church grow is Christ. And this was what he was known for globally, because his radio program then was known all over the world.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. And another question that I have, before I ask the question, I just want to say that, so from your story, we can tell that Evangelist Olaolukaji was sent to the Celestial Church to be a change agent in the fold.
Yes, that is the word.
And that means that God is trying to restore the initial intent of the church, not just, seeing the church as just a cult, as many people see it as. But because God knows that this is why he created the church, and so he sent one man to come into this fold to rectify that. That means that we know that Celestial Church is a church ordained by God,
Oh,
and not
yes.
just a brand of Christianity that mixes, African traditional religion with their worship.
No, 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 no.
Okay.
The church, that's one of the church songs says, "Ìjọ mímọ́ látọ̀run wá, látọ̀run wá, látọ̀run wá." That means it's from God, it's heavenly. And when you even look at the structure of the church, like there was a time we were doing the theology in this place. When you look at the structure of the church, it's likened to the structure of the tabernacle.
Yes.
When you look at the altar, when you look at the holy, that's holy, the altar, and there is another holy of holies. That is where the person conducting the service, where we have the 7 candles standing. That's so you know that there is there is an heavenly orchestration about the church. But because of human proliferation, religion proliferation, character proliferation, they have changed so many things and turned it to the doctrine of the church. But at that time that God needed to proclaim the church, he sent somebody. And then my dad used to read, I think is the book of Ezekiel, where he said that God sought for a man to stand in the gap. And I think that was what he was. He was like a lone voice in the wilderness, shouting then. So today, we can see that he has a lot of evangelists in Celesta. I can tell you for free that the road on the horse that Evangelist Olalu Kadri brought.
Thank you very much. A question I want to ask, this one is a bit more personal, not just about the church. Years ago, your mom died, not 2022, like 50 years ago or
not
something.
50 years
Is
ago.
it up to 50?
That was 1993.
1993, she died suddenly, no reason.
She had stroke.
She had stroke, but we don't know where the stroke came from.
No, we don't know.
And after hours of prayer, after she was proclaimed dead, she came back to life.
Yes.
And she lived for almost 30 years after that.
Yes.
Can you just walk us through that?
Yes, I think what normally happens, like I said, here in this church, we usually have vigil every Friday and Saturday. Friday for the old church, Saturday stroke Sunday for the church workers, parochial committee, church executive. We all normally have it, and getting the workers prepared for Sunday. And Sunday morning, Daddy goes to the radio station. So that particular Sunday, I can remember it's either May 17th or May 20th, 1993. If you look at the calendar, whichever one falls on a Sunday is the right date. So May 1993, they finished. I usually attend, but I don't know what happened. I didn't attend that vigil that night. So they were at the vigil. And because of the kind of person my dad was, whenever he wants to go out, we go and meet mom, Mutin. So he wanted to go to the radio station that morning, Sunday morning, and he went to call mom, and lo and behold, she was gone. Our room was down that place, and of course, there was cry for help, and they brought her into the church, and they prayed. They put her in front of the altar, and after hours of praying, she came back to life, and it was discovered that she had stroke. She was taken to the hospital. At the hospital, she was being, of course, treatment here and there. And at one point, I was there. Her eyes closed, and she was covered. She was declared dead, and my dad was not there, and we were all already crying. She has gone. Then my dad just came in all of a sudden and said, "What happened?" They said, "Mommy is dead." And lo, he went all out. I started praying and praying. And she came back to life. When she
On
came,
2 occasions?
no,
I
The
mean, the
first one,
first
she
one
was
was
unconscious
she.
there.
Oh, she was not dead at
She
that
was
time.
not there
Okay,
because she
okay,
suffered stroke.
okay. So it was in the hospital that
It
she
was in the
died.
hospital that she was packed up, that she is dead. They covered her. You know, of course, they've covered her. So when she came out, she was praying, and she came back to life. And there and then she was fully recovered. And I think she said she had a revelation when she was about to die, and she was sent back that she should still come and support the husband to do more of evangelism. So she had to come back, and she became well, though she still suffered the symptoms, the signs of stroke for a while. But I think after a while, she was totally out of it, and you wouldn't even know that she had
Yeah, you
stroke.
wouldn't know that she had stroke. So in the course of this whole sick, when she died, when she was sick, praying and all of that, was there any special thing that you people did apart from prayer? Did you go to any man of God? Did you go to any river? Did you do
Even
anything?
we were asked to go to redemption camp. So, everyone will lọ sí redemption camp, blah, blah, blah. Dad said no. That if he's telling the whole world that he's serving a living God here, and his wife is sick, and he has to take his wife to redemption camp for healing, that means he has to tell everybody to go to redemption camp. That's then he is not that God that is working there. So we didn't do any YouTube. But I can tell you for free that our sickness turned this place to a prayer mountain, because people were here praying every day. As in Monday to Sunday, people were here praying. So at some point, they now divided themselves into group. I think it was now only Sunday nights that they don't have vigil again. Monday, a group pray on Monday, a redemption group pray on Tuesday. That one still exists now. The Tuesday group, they pray. There's another group that prays on Wednesday. There's another group that prays on Thursday. Then we used to have the youth on Friday. Then the church executive, the parochial committee, blah, blah, blah. Those ones pray on Saturday. So the group the workers that are supposed to pray on Sunday night, they do their own prayer on Monday on a day like this. They go home Sunday night and they resume, they start their prayer and their teaching. And that was what turned this place to a prayer mountain. After her mom and that time that she was sick, a group were permanently resuming at the hospital for prayers.
Wow.
Throughout our stay, they were resuming. So we came back and each person fall into their various group, and the prayer was like that till for so many years. And that was where turned this place to a prayer mountain.
After being a member of the Celestial Church for a while, you got married into the Cherubim and Seraphim Church. How was that transition for you? Did you have any preconceived notion about the Cherubim and Seraphim Church? Did you want to go? You were like, oh, I don't want to go to that church. How was the whole thing for you?
I have a bad picture of CNS before I got married. Reason being that there were about 2 CNS in my neighborhood. Then before I got married in Alakore, there was a guy, he was a CNS guy. But all the young girls in the street, he's always having something to do with them. And the way he portrays himself, if he's in trance, he will do something. But I was like, what's all this nonsense? Then there's another one. That one is from Ososa. You will know definitely that is from Ososa. After Sunday service, you just put Ogunde song. I'll not be like, how can you be using church instrument to be praying, aye, all sorts. And any little fight in the neighborhood, they will cause, not fight too. They will fight and cause. So it gives me a wrong impression about CNS. But when I met my late husband, and I said he was a good person. So when he now told me that he's from CNS, I was not like, are you from CNS? Because then you were in the office, we were always praying together. I never see any sign of being a white garment in him. Even in his house, you will not know. And he now said he's a member of CNS. And I said, okay. And I said, I now went to his church. And when I now got to his church, and I realized that this is what we do at the school fellowship. And I have, okay, I think this is better. Is it different from what I got to know? So, and we got talking, and I was comfortable there, because there as well there was no red candle, no blue candle, no fetish, no all those irritating things that is known with some CNS churches or celestial churches, not there. So I was like, okay, since I'm coming from a likely fold, nothing stops me from joining the fold. That I was comfortable with the church.
Okay, since joining the fold, has anything changed in the way you view the White Garment Church? You know, at the time you were joining the fold, you were like, okay, I can accept this now. This is, this is not too different from where I'm coming from. But since that time until now, have you had like any reasons to go back on your words saying that, oh, this is a good church? Have you had any reason to doubt the God of the CNS Church?
No, I have no reason to doubt the God of CNS Church. I have no reason. But fine, you have encounter with human being. And one thing I've got to understand in life, that human being will always be. Will always be. So irrespective of their status, even if you have a personal relationship with Pope, you will see that human nature is still there. So I cannot use that to judge God.
Yeah.
They are not God. So talking about human being, I've seen a lot of funny here and there, even outside my church. I've even gone to a church to minister, and I cannot kneel down to pray.
Oh,
I was invited to come and speak there, and I realized that I cannot even kneel down to pray because the church was too dirty for my liking, and spiritually, yeah, it's not welcoming. And I've gone to CNS churches, and he will feel like, are you sure you are in a White Garment Church? So, and in the church where I joined, there are people there, they are good. We are not fetish. We don't use colored candle. You won't see broom everywhere, coconuts, all those things that they use for it. You won't see it there. And you won't see red garments, yellow garments, green garments. We are strictly white garments. And these are the things that gives me comfort in the church before looking at the doctrine. There's what I first see. And when you come to my church, you see that that is what we have there. So, and I think that was what battered my ministry, the branded women. White garments, we are all the same thing.
Yeah.
We are all this. I can't talk of some, maybe like this or that Brotherhood of the Cross, but let me just talk about the two that I know, CNS and Celestia. We are all the same thing. We just have different order of service song, but we are all the same thing.
It's not even that different. There's a lot of similarities.
Yes, there's a lot of similarities. That's I said. There's little difference, and even their church structure,
Yeah,
the same
it's the
thing.
same. It's the same. Another question is, you went to the CNS College of Divinity and you became a pastor, yeah?
Yes.
And you would recount some experiences with, your classmates and, different things like expressing the gifts of the Spirit or, the different teachings that they taught you. Can you just tell us a little bit about your time at the College of Divinity?
If there's anything I loved that I understood when I went to College of Divinity, I would say it's the gift of tongue. Before I went there, I do not understand what the Bible was saying about the gift of tongue, because in Celestia, we don't do tongues. Tongue is not accepted.
Why is that?
That's part of the church doctrine. Tongue is not accepted. So we're safe for now, but before, you won't see any celestial speaking in tongues. It doesn't happen in the church.
Until recently.
Okay. Maybe somebody from CNS joined. But when I now went there and I saw the gifts, the originality of the gifts, you will see somebody who is... I had a classmate who speaks Chinese.
As a
When
gift,
she's in spirit.
wow.
She speaks Chinese.
And then somebody
And
interprets it.
somebody interprets it.
Wow.
I have somebody that speaks French.
Wow.
I met a guy who gives his messages with drum. When he's giving message, he'll be drumming, and somebody will be interpreting the drum.
Wow.
And it will be bam. Not that it was and somebody was saying, he said this. I met somebody that was and somebody will be interpreting.
Wow.
We'll be doing like this, and somebody will be interpreting. I met somebody that was interpreting a baby's cry. A baby was crying, a baby will be crying. He said, "Hi, Belosita." He said, "No, that the baby is saying something." And we're like, eh. And you cannot contest it because the baby will cry, and when the person keeps talking, the baby will stop. And when the person say continue, the baby will keep crying. And I can see the beauty of tongue, in diverse tongue in CNS, not the one that they go and learn or go and borrow, but the originality that was written in the book of Acts chapter 3, that they said some people were hearing their own language. Somebody who has not stepped outside the shore of Nigeria, speaking Arabics in tongue, speaking Arabics. See somebody speaking, using algebra language to give prophecy, mathematics. They say 2 raised to power 3 equals 4, back there, and somebody will be interpreting, and it's not going to be a lie.
Wow. How do you know it's not a lie?
Because when they are telling you, you are meeting somebody for the first time, and he's telling you the name of your dad for the first time in your life, and he's telling you that your father is this, your father is this, your father is this, your father is this, and maybe you make mistake. The person starts saying, "No, that's not what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying."
Wow.
That's one gift that I really covet. I don't know how to get it, but I really covet it. Then from that school, it gives me understanding that the church, going to Bible school is not because you want to become a pastor. That's one thing I've come to realize. When I went to the Bible school, I met a lot of people whose purpose of coming to the Bible school is not because they want to be a pastor or want to head a church or want to have a ministry, but for their personal transformation.
Personal transformation.
I went to the Bible school when I became the church general secretary, and it really helped me in delivering my duty for the period.
Yeah, I really like the fact that you mentioned the gifts of the Spirit, because this is something that we see a lot, especially in the CNS church. People have a lot of reservations and sentiments against the white garment church. They say things like, oh, they're not Christians, they're Gentiles, what has light got to do with darkness? And even when they are leaders, they are like men of God, even visit these churches, because we've seen that in recent times, the top men of God in this country visiting white garment churches. Even when they do so, they still have those reservations, and they're like, is this leader backsliding, or what has light got to do with darkness, or is it a case of Peter and Cornelius? Like, those are the kinds of questions that we have, right? What do you say to that?
Okay, like I said, I don't want to use, let me be mild in my word, like people that have that kind of mentality, I'll say they are not Christian. Why will I say they are not Christian? The Bible talks about love. And it's a place of the Bible that says you must love your neighbor. That if you don't love your neighbor that you can see, how much more you will love God. So if you are not saying you love God, and you are not loving a particular person that is saying is serving your type of God, then what happens to the people in your village? That means you will hate almost everybody in your village, including maybe grandparents, because they are not practicing that your same religion. But coming to white garments and these other churches, it's because they don't have the understanding. Yes, they may have their genuine reason, I'll tell you. Because even among us, we still see all these things. But that is not sufficient for you to condemn. It's not sufficient for you to condemn that this person, they are darkness or you are light. Because they are also serving God. But it's just their own understanding of the way they can go. I think there's a place in the book of Acts that was talking about people calling on the God, the unknown God. So that is the knowledge they have. And when you look at it now, a lot of people are having understanding of the Bible. So it's helping them to live a better Christian life. But because these people, they have, how can you say you want to win soul? Jesus himself, he said he didn't come for those who are well. He's come for those who are not okay. Let's assume these other sects, that the white garment churches, they are not okay. And if their leader goes there, I think they should see it as a mark of soul winning, not to condemn the leader.
Yeah.
Okay, thank God though. CNS now, they will be more Christian. They will have better understanding of the word, since our own Father in the Lord now goes there to teach. So for them now to start condemning their own Father in the Lord for going to CNS, they are just mistaken. Because these churches have CNS background.
Yeah.
The founder of RCCG Redeem was from CNS. Pa Oyedepo's was trained by his grandmother, who takes him to her church, which is CNS in Umuaran. So an apple does not fall far from its tree. If these people have something to do with CNS, they have not gone astray. It's just because we are looking at it from our own human mentality, not God's way of viewing things. And who told you that the church is holier or not holy? Because of their personal practice. Then that means God does not need a Rahab. That God does not need Rahab. But when he wanted to save his people, he was able to use Rahab. Because if not for Rahab, the people that God sent to spy the land would have been killed. But because she was a prostitute, she knows the tactics. So who is there to condemn anybody? Somebody who is not good today might be good tomorrow. We have a lot of herbalists that turn to pastor and they are doing well. So if God had condemned them or nailed them while they are still herbalists, how would they come on board to become an evangelist? So to me, fine, they may see some things that they don't like in us, but we are not standing on that point. We are improving by the day. We are improving, we are teaching ourselves, and that also, I will tell you, that is one of those things that battered my own personal ministry. I call it the branded women. Why branded women is, we are the only person that you will see in our brand. If I see you, you are telling me you are going to church, right? Dressed like this. You will not know whether you are going to Catholic, whether you are going to Deeper Life, whether you are going to Redeem, whether you are going to Fountain of Life. But the moment you see me, you have two choices. It's either she's cherubim or Celestia or Church of the Lord, right?
Yes.
So that is our brand, and that is why we call ourselves the branded women. We are in a brand to worship our God, and the purpose of the ministry is to teach, to learn, to unlearn. Yes, we have some practices that we ourselves don't like, and we come together to say, okay, this one is not good, let's stop practicing it. And today we are coming out better.
What would you say birthed the ministry, and what has been the impact of the ministry in the White Garment Church, and what's the aim exactly?
Like when we discussed, I said my father was the change agent in
Celestial
Celestia,
Church.
and by extension, he went to CNS. At some point, he was working with CNS, and that's why he was very close to late general leader of IONU movement, Apostle Dr. Fakeye.
Fakeye.
They were close. They were working
Jew.
together
Okay.
in transforming the white garment churches. So after his death, he has done so many things. And because I was opportuned to work in Celestia, and I was opportuned to work with CNS. I became the secretary of the evangelical committee, and I see that it's the same sickness that we have in Kerubu that we have in Sele. We are just like that. And I kept realizing, is it our way of life? So there could be a change.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, if there's going to be a change, I'm here, I'm here. Let's come together and bat a change. And I can tell you, for the few World Conference that we have, we've batted so many changes, we've impacted people, people are changing, people are dropping, we are seeing the change. It cannot be that
Instant.
impromptu, so it cannot be instant, but I can see it. Now I go to gathering and I see the way the women compose themselves, the way they do, and the way they're like, branded women, you are trying for us. So thank God we are changing. So, and that's sufficient. And we are not stopping. It's going to be an eternal thing. So if I am sure I'm going to hand over to some people, no matter when, but it's going to continue. And we are not, it's not a prayer program. It's just a word
Word.
to learn, to unlearn, to change our paradigm, to change our mindset. And that's all it's all about.
Thank you very much for coming. Thank you for answering the
Thank you.
questions
Thank you.
excellently. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much. That's what we have for you today. We have realized that the Cherubim and Seraphim Church, as well as the Celestial Church of God, they're not too different. They just have different, leaders, and their mode of worship is basically almost the same thing. And from this session, I have learned that we are supposed to be the change agents that we need to see in our church. So it's not just for us to leave the church and go and, say, I don't like this church is not good for me, or they're not worshiping God, but it's to be the change that we want to see in the church, to be change agents and instruments of God in the church. Though the individuals in the church are not perfect, but we can establish that these churches are from God. They are ordained by God. They were sent, they were created by God for a reason, and we await the fulfillment of that purpose that God has created His church. Thank you very much for watching.